This is how I went from being overwhelmed with trying to schedule meetings with a bunch of people in them to making it a really easy process for myself and the other admin that I'm working with. First thing I do, you want to find out what the meeting range is. When is the absolute last date that you can have the meeting, and when is the earliest that you can have the meeting? Because when you're trying to get availability for other people and you just tell them, hey, send me 30-minute slots, but they have no idea when the end date, it's a whole lot easier when you can narrow it down to a date range. What we typically do is we'll have a table that we have laid out, and it'll have the date, it'll have the executive names for who is needed for that. For each column, it'll have a date, and then you put in the availability for the person in there. Typically send this to the other admin, and we all fill it out based on who our executive is, when their availability is, and then the person that is scheduling the meeting, they can kind of cross-reference and see when a good time is that works for the people in the meeting that are mandatory. We have people in the meeting that are not mandatory. Like if the list is just crazy long, you have tons of people in there and you're like, there's no freaking way we're gonna find a spot that works for all of these people. What I always do is ask the meeting organizer, who are the people that are absolutely mandatory? They have to be there. Like, you cannot do this meeting without them. And the rest of the people, they're optional. Again, if you are trying to find a date and time that works for, like, let's say 20, 30, 40, 50 people, if you're trying to find a time that works for all those people, good luck. That's why I always push back and say, who are the mandatory people that you need in this meeting? And a lot of times they'll come back with less than 10 names of who is actually needed in the meeting, and then that really helps to narrow things down. Another way that you can do this, if you have access to everyone's calendars, you can open them up and either do like the day where you can see just the day and then you can find a spot, or you can use the scheduling assistant in Outlook as well. If you need more help with calendar management, head over and join Admin Allies. I do have a couple trainings in there in calendar management.